And welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I'll be sharing my fundamental guide for you to use as a blueprint to creating that superb design that you've been hoarding as screenshots on your phone. Yeah, I know you've been doing that. Let's not just dive into it. So this guide is intended for beginners and those wanting to refresh their memories to a proper sewing guide, so that we do not end up with what I ordered versus what I got situationships. We all want that 10 over 10 minus nothing results, don't we all? So without further ado, let me take you on this guide to give you my bonus tips on how you can create a simple bodice block and to reduce a gaping armhole so that you would have that perfect fit. Okay, so beginning, we are going to have our drafting paper and our marker and our ruler, and we're going to rule out a line just like we have right here, and then we'll take our measurements from the shoulder to our bust point. For mine it is 10, then our shoulder, so let's get this neckline, which is 3. So we have our shoulder to our bust, our shoulder to our waist, and shoulder to our hip. And then I'm just trying to match it out. So we have our 10 inches, 16 inches, and 25 inches right here. So I take 7 inches downward, which is the last line that I drew over there. And then we're going back to the top to rule out all the lines so they match out in a straight format. So we have all of this neatly done, and then we'll be getting our neckline. So I still have my 3 inches and then my shoulder length, and then I ruled out the shoulder length at the bust line and drew a straight line across to make sure that everything is matching, so we don't have a slanted line. We just want everything to be perfect, right? So I connect my neckline, which is the 3 inches I drafted up there, and then I created my shoulder slope because our shoulders are not straight, of course. I created my shoulder slope, which is taking an inch downward from that straight line over there. And then I'll be transferring my horizontal measurements. Is it vertical or horizontal? Let me just take my round bust measurements to this bust line. Then I'm transferring my waist measurement plus 1 inch for my dart. Then I'll be transferring my hip measurement at this point, which is 10. So if you can see over here, I'm taking 1.5 inches at the top and an inch and a half at the bottom, and I'm going to draw this line straight. The reason why I'm doing this is so that I do not have a sharp line when I get to connect my waist to my hip. You know, our bodies are not straight, they are not pointed, rather they are more like curved, so we need that smooth line. So if you see at the bottom right there, I'm transferring my measurements, but I'm taking 1 inch in. My hip line is 10, but on this line it is 9 inch. Okay, the reason is to have that perfect fit and not have your dress loosely fitted on you. So we're going back up to get our bust line. So there's a distance between that shoulder line and my bust measurement, which is 1 inch. Please note that we'll be keeping that in mind for something else. So I'm taking my arm side, which is my round arm measurement, which is 16 divided by 2, which will give us 8, and then I'm subtracting 1 from it, which is that one that we took note of. So that makes it 7. So I'm going up by 1 inch, which is 7. So I'm just matching out everything right there, and then I'll be drawing out my line. Please note I'm drawing it outward. There's no need to draw it from that initial line. So I'm drawing it outward, and here I'll be transferring my bust measurements. Yes, this is where I'll be transferring my bust measurements, and then for ease of allowance, I'll be adding an extra 1 inch. You can always adjust this if it is loosely fitted on your body, but I find this as a hack that works perfectly for me. So I have my bust measurement divided by 4 plus ease allowance of 1. And now I'll be connecting that point to my waistline, and then my waistline to my hip line, like you can see over there. So I'm connecting everything. So we already have 1/4 of our body measurement, which forms our basic block, as we can see over here. Then from that point, I'm just connecting all the way down to suit the length of your dress. Okay, so we're just going in here to smoothen out everything, because you're a curvy girl now. You're not a pointed girl. Okay, so we have everything smoothened out, and then now we'll be getting our chest line. My chest line is 5 inches downward from my shoulder line, so my chest line is at 7 inches, and then I'm going in by just 1 inch, right? So this creates the chest line, the front chest line for the front bodice, and then we curve it out to connect to that arm side line. Please note that for the back bodice, you don't need to go in by that 1 inch. You still maintain that line that connects down from your shoulder. Don't worry, when we are creating our back bodies, I'll get to explain that as well. So pardon me, at the beginning of this video I should have written out my bust, waist and hip line, but there you have it. And then my arm side point. So we have all this stated, and then I'll be taking up my shoulder line so that when you get to connect the front bodies and the back bodies, you have something to be able to connect right there. So before we get to that, we'll be indicating where the dotted line for the waist is going to be. Remember, we added 1 inch to the waistline, right? So at the waistline, we'll get our bust to bust, or is it nipple to nipple measurements, and then mine is 8, so we divide it by 2, which gives us 4, and then we'll mark that line, and then we'll connect that 4 at that bust point there, right? And then we'll just connect it to the middle. Please just watch closely, you will understand. So you connect the bust point to the waist, right, which is that 4. Then you create that triangular form to connect that 1 inch that you added over there, and then you go all the way to the hip. But for me, or generally, I would advise that you don't go all the way to the hip line, so that you don't have your dart connecting your butt or showing at your butt point. So I go up the hip line by 3 inches, but this differs for different body types. For people who are a larger body type, you can decide to go up by 4 or 5 inches depending on how big or how tall your model, let me use the word model, so your model is. So I go up by 3 inches, and then I connect it to that waistline, and here I'm transferring my allowance. So my allowance, I'll be using for my allowance, I'll be making use of 1 inch across all the side pieces. So you can choose to go in or go out by 1.5 or 2 inches, depending on how flexible your model's body is. If you are someone who tends to put on and lose weight easily, you can decide to increase it by maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches. But for me, I prefer to go out by 1 inch. So I'm just here connecting the entire lines together. Okay, so connect right here. And then for my shoulder slope, I will just go by 1 inch, or by half an inch rather, apologies, half an inch, and then I connect that line that way. Remember, like I said, you need to extend this so that when you connect the front and the back, when you get to mark out everything, you'll find out that all your body measurements divided by 4 actually match up. So this brings us to the end of the tutorial for today. In our next episode, I'll be showing you how to draft the back bodice pattern. So please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share with your friends how you've been able to create, or how we have been able to create this bodice pattern. Thank you everyone, and do have a nice day.